The condemned infidels were marched through the main streets of the city in open carts drawn by mules and conveyed to the execution ground at Floriana, just outside Valletta. At each street corner, the executioner tore bits of flesh from the limbs of the culprits with red-hot pliers and poured boiling pitch on the open wounds. The slaves were also birched and finally hanged. Two of the condemned conspirators were taken to the middle of the harbour, and their limbs were tied to 8 boats, which at a given signal were rowed with great force in different directions. The lifeless, shattered corpses were then quartered and beheaded by the public executioner, and their dripping heads were placed on spikes on the nearby bastions. Others had their corpses burnt. 8 of the conspirators were branded on their forehead with the letter R, signifying rebellion, rebels, and were sent to row on the orders galleys for life. The slaves' conspiracy of 1749 was an event which might have had far-reaching consequences, undreamt at the time. In the year 1749, Grandmaster Pinto's personal slave, Imseliki, and a young Moor and protege of the Grandmaster, Kara Mekmet, concocted a conspiracy to kill the Grandmaster and his knights and take over control of the island. The plot was laid out in its minutest details, and the revolt of the Turkish slaves was timed to take place on June the 29th, the feast of St. Peter and St. Paul. In the year 1749, Grandmaster Pinto's personal slave, Imseliki, and a young Moor and protege of the Due to the affinity which developed between the slaves and the inhabitants, there was an increase in the number of superstitious objects, potions, and writings. There were also instances of Satanism. It issued the following proclamation to the people of Malta. The time has at last come, citizens, of being honoured with the august name of free men. The invincible Bonaparte had wished it, and it has been done. His presence was enough to demoralize and to put to flight your tyrants, and to deliver you from the absurd and oppressive yoke of the treble jurisdiction, inquisitions, bishops, and orders, under which you were groaning. Some of which are characterized by inscriptions carved on the wall by Muslims. All over Europe, the Inquisition generated a certain level of fear and anguish, simply because of the acts committed in its name. Even in Malta, a number of these tortures and punishments were carried out on the accused. The application of the corda consisted in the tying of the hands behind the back, followed by hoisting to a considerable height with a sudden release to drop the victim just above the ground. These frequent dropping jerks, sometimes with weights added to the legs, often dislocated the arms and the shoulders. The stanghetta was a metal anklet applied to the leg in such a way as to cause pain by the insertion of wooden wedges between the flesh and the anklet. The resultant increased pressure caused puncturing of the skin. Whipping in public places was a commonplace occurrence. Muslims more than Christians suffered this, as they could not be subjected to penitential sentences, and were therefore more likely to receive this form of punishment. In some penitential cases, the accused would be made to kneel, holding a candle, and bearing an inscription admitting their guilt.